What's up, everybody? Welcome to Krystal Tini TV. Today we have Amber Douglas. She is an outspoken free spirit. But I'm super excited to hear about your journey. And so a little background about me. I'm yoga certified, love yoga. I did a sound bath. I've been to 2 sound baths, believe it or not. You would think I had been to more, but the first sound bath that I went to was about 2 years ago. And the sound stimulated something in me that caused almost panic. Have you ever heard this before?
Yes, I have. It's
Okay.
I've actually heard that a lot, not a lot, but frequently with people who are first time or second time.
Okay.
Feeling an uncomfortableness or like unable to calm down, the mind's going, but that's
Right.
normal because your body's not used to that. So it's a nervous system overload in the other way, trying to release all the stressors that we're not even mentally aware of. The body just holds it.
Absolutely.
So yeah. And then with that too, not a knock on anyone at all, because I've experienced many sound baths received and facilitated. And I too have had that experience a couple of times myself. Like for instance, I don't thoroughly enjoy just crystal sound bowls. I love the sound, but it does something to me internally where I've actually had to leave a room because it caused so much. Yeah.
So is it just the certain vibration of it? Like,
yeah, it was a heavy vibration. There was a lot of them, heavy vibration coming in, and it was just like overload. I got like nauseous. So I had to go outside, get the fresh air, lay on my back, like the whole breathing, all that. Yeah.
Sometimes if I'm out in nature, I get like that. When I hear sounds coming from all these different places, like it's overstimulating to me, and it makes me feel a little insane.
Yeah, I can relate.
Okay.
I'm like that
the only one that feels insane, you know?
Yeah, I'm like that in like an amusement park situation or just waiting in line. Yeah, that causes like the stimulation of that. Yeah.
Yes. How did you get into this practice?
Oh, wow. I got into it. It's not planned at all. One of those things, a part of my life that just kind of came in and happened. I started experiencing sound baths after a yoga class because the yoga teacher was sound certified. I just started loving the decompression after doing the movement of yoga. And then I started noticing I was going more and more and more. And I started noticing just amongst myself, way less road rage, way less reactivity.
Yeah.
And then just other little subtleties. And I just love it. I've been a just lover of any kind of sound and music since I can remember. One of my favorite sounds that I just realized a couple of years ago, some of my favorite songs that are older all have like a steel guitar in them. Like just interesting, weird little sounds. So I've always been into music. My first radio that I found, I didn't grow up rich, far from it. And so I wanted a radio at like 6 years old. We couldn't afford one. Someone had one out in the trash. I said, can I have it? They're like, yeah, well, it makes this sound. I was like, that's okay, I want it. It was an 8-track record player, AM, FM, right? But when you turned it on, no matter what feature you were playing, when you turned it on, it constantly had this and didn't stop.
Oh, wow.
So I just learned to tune that out and tune into the music. And so now looking back in hindsight, I think that helped me into sound, and, you know, it just kind of fell into it. And then I had so many questions after the sound baths that people wouldn't answer or couldn't answer, and not for any, lack of anything from them, but I just had some really deep questions. So I was like, well, how do I get into this and learn this?
Right.
I found the Gong Avatar Academy in Southern California. I signed up and I did a 16-month course, which was arduous. We had started out with 6 people and 2 of us graduated.
Oh my God. I mean, that's extensive. 15, I think we're gonna say 15 or 16 hour course.
No, it was extensive. And then it included overnight gong concerts that we performed in, a lot of other interesting different types of training and just conversations of things. And and then learning all the gongs and other sound things and how to perform a sound bath, how to start, how to finish, all that stuff. So, yeah.
What are the benefits? Like if people that are watching don't know anything about sound baths, like why would I need to do a sound bath?
I would say everyone can benefit from a sound bath in some way because we all experience stress. We
Yes.
all experience a constant go, 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 or maybe not all, but most of us.
Mhm.
And when you experience sound, it reacts with the nervous system at a cellular level and
Right.
causes, and it can bring about a sense of calm, peace, and you leave feeling refreshed or energized, better sleep. It can help with many, many, many things. I'm not, a doctor or anything like that, but I have had people come to me for sound facilitation with migraines or a sore back or sciatica. And then when they're done, they tell me, oh my gosh, I had this pain or I had this headache. It's completely gone now. So just the testimonials of people who've experienced it is my experience of what it has done for people. For me personally, it's just helped me heal emotional wounds, helped me think deeper, be calmer. I'm not 100% perfect person, but it's something I look forward to. I play for myself daily and for my family. It just brings about when I feel I need a little boost of energy. I'll come here for a few minutes, play the gong, and I'm good to go. And I just have this, this good feeling about me where I can handle life.
Wow. And so would you be able to do sound baths like through like a Zoom? Can you do them online, or is it, I mean, obviously it's best to be in the room with them, but do you still experience benefit?
Well, yes, I've done some videos and stuff, and then put them online with another co-facilitator, and I just always put the disclaimer, best if used with headphones.
Right.
But it's always optimal to be there in person because you're physically receiving it, you feel the vibration, but it's still beneficial, even if you can't be there, to put the headphones in, decompress, just listen to it and, let your thoughts kind of melt away for however long that takes.
Wow. So what would you recommend is there different types of sound baths, or is it just according to whatever instruments the person plays and then that's their sound bath?
Yeah, I mean, people use, I guess just depends on the facilitator. I actually like to use buffalo drum, native flute. I play the ukulele sometimes.
Wow.
Play the gong. I have 2 crystal bowls. I don't have a whole set. I have the root and the heart because for me personally, those are the frequencies I like to work with. And they, for me, what I like to do. And, you got to carry all the stuff. But I've been to some where there's like 8 gongs, 20 bowls, other little chimes. I have koshi chimes, a Tibetan bowl. I have a kalimba. Just, any kind of thing that I feel. And every one I facilitate is a little different because I feel the energy of the people in the room. And sometimes I might not play the flute. Sometimes I'll play the uke at the end. Sometimes I'll start with the drum or not start with the drum, or, just going with the flow of what people I feel they need.
Right. So the greatest benefit you would say from sound baths or sound healing would be what?
I would say the greatest benefit of experiencing a sound healing journey is, one, if you've never done it before, just experiencing a whole new experience. 2, the next benefit would be you get great sleep. It calms the nervous system. And it might not be the very first one or second one, and it might be. Every person's body is different.
Right.
But it definitely affects you at a deep level. The vibrations, when we hear music on the radio, if we if we play a song that's a little bit soft and slow, we feel that mood. If we play heavy metal, we kind of go and amp up. So we already know in that aspect it affects us. So same thing when you're feeling the vibrations and how the energy is coming through. Yes. And I put a lot of intention in everything I do, but especially facilitating gongs. So I create a very safe space. And yeah, all right, I feel it. That's my goal anyway.
Because it's definitely very powerful. And I want to get back into doing them regularly to the point that I don't feel insane. Because when you do hear those types of sounds and frequencies, they penetrate on a deep level.
Yes.
I can just say that from my own experience, obviously. And it was like, it irritated my insides. Like, it was like, whoa, like, what is this vibration? You just hear and you feel. And it's very different than listening to music. You know, it's obviously a
Very different. It is very different.
experience, and it's like something you really have to get used to. But I think once I would get used to that, I'd be able to obviously benefit more from it. But the stimulation of it, it does something to you inside. So it's like worth exploring, definitely on a much
Absolutely.
deeper
And,
level.
and like I said before, sometimes that could be whatever the facilitator is going through, or whatever instruments they were playing you were experiencing at the time, whether they blended together well for you or not, you know, or whatever you might have been going through or suppressing and not knowing about it subconsciously. It stirs the subconscious. So I play the full moon gong. It's a feminine energy, but it's about emotion. So it helps us tap into our emotion and intuition. So especially as a female, for me, it just seemed like the perfect fit, because that's what we are naturally inclined to: emotion and intuition. So that's not to say it doesn't help men either, but you know, it helps you deal with, or at least in my experience, it's helped me deal with those tougher times, where it helps me have more clarity to just deal with life.
And I mentioned in your bio about you had an abusive or an abused past. Has this facilitated in your healing, finding these instruments and using and utilizing them and aiding in your healing?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I am, I don't consider myself a survivor, but in words, that's what we put a child abuse survivor. And I didn't realize that till my mid-30s, until someone really told me, hey, Amber, you were abused. And not to go into every story, but there were some pretty heavy things. My dad held a gun to my head when I was 9 years old. There was a lot of domestic violence, a lot of drunken activity, a lot of guns, you know, a lot of sexual things that I was exposed to, not me personally, but exposed to visually and witnessed that no child should be witnessing. A lot of traumas that I didn't realize were not normal until I had a really good friend in my mid-30s. We were just kind of sharing some stories, like, hey, I think you need to figure out how to heal this, because this is kind of what's holding you back. And it just kind of, it was hard to receive, right? Because you're like, wait, what? So yeah, it's helped me 100%. It's helped me to realize when I have maybe been acting in ways that my parents did that I don't want to. Emotionally, because we tend to absorb through experience our mentors or our guardians, the way they talk to us or treated us. So, and I'm also a mother, and I don't want to recreate those situations and traumas for her. And that's not saying I'm perfect, but it definitely helps me to stop, realize, apologize. How do we work through this? How do I get better? So it's absolutely. And that was not my intention in going into it. I just kind of loved it, and I love the sound. I like it, the feeling. And then that's, as I progressed through it, it was like, wait, it really helped me set clearer boundaries with my family. But I actually am estranged from my entire family at this point for the sake of my daughter. But yeah, there's a lot there, but we don't need to go. That's a whole other memoir. So
no, I mean, we all have our own story and journey, and I love to hear about, you know, something as profound as this, the sound, how sound can really help to heal, move energy around, shift things out. Because if you're saying, you know, it wasn't until your 30s that you even realized that you were abused, like, you know, what type of behaviors were you exhibiting any behaviors that were holding you back? Like, you did mention that. So what was it that you were like, oh, wait, that was abuse, but what were some of the behaviors that were maybe
I was very arrogant, especially in my jobs. And I took things very, very personally, extremely personally. And then in my way of confronting things was extremely aggressive. I've walked out of jobs. I've been let go of jobs, not proud of that. Sometimes it was just for standing up for things, but it definitely hindered me in progressing in my job or anything, you know, a lot of write-ups, and just my behaviors were, I was very angry, very quick to react, always thinking somebody was out for me, you know, not trusting at all of anyone. So anytime something happened, now I've learned to discern a lot better when it comes to trust and people, and not taking things so personally. I still take things personally. I'm a very personal person, but I can realize when it's not an attack on me. Everything always felt like an attack, or, you're not good enough, or you're this or you're that, or it would trigger some memory or just a phrase, and nobody has any idea, right? And I didn't realize that. So after I started having that clarity, I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to be like this. And this is something they didn't. I was taught this just through the osmosis of being with the family. So the behaviors, I've had some instances I'm not proud of, that where I was not a violent person, but if somebody wronged me or whatever, I am definitely a fight, not flight person. And those things hindered me as well. So my mouth can get the better of me.
I feel like I'm talking to myself, talking to you. Because I've had all those things like rage and things like that. And I knew that it came from my upbringing. So it's great that things are brought to our awareness, or that we had that awareness. But I thought that was normal. I always had dysfunctional relationships. Like, I dated one guy that I considered normal, and I ruined his life with my insanity. So it's not until you get to that place in your life where you're like, this isn't like a healthy relationship. This isn't how this should go. This isn't how you should talk to people. And then you find your own ways of healing. And for me, that was definitely yoga. And for you, it was, your sound healing. So it's just interesting to listen to your journey and just see myself in where you were. And then once there's some mirror that reflects back to you who you are, and either who you want to be or who you don't want to be. So it's amazing for you that, you're going in the opposite direction with your child, and you're like, I don't want her to be exposed to the insanity that I was exposed to, and really giving her a different experience in life than what someone like you or I experienced.
Yeah. And that said, she's, I've still had my moments early on where I've had some demonstrative ways of speaking. But that said, what my parents did not do, or people who I was around did not do, is I recognized my wrongs and apologized for them and tried to figure out how to correct them, and just owning it, realizing this is not okay and I've got to be better. So And
some people will never get to that space, but when you have, like, I was a dancer my whole life, so that was one of my escapisms. Then yoga became an escapism, but more on a different level, of where I actually was able to move the energy. Whereas dance is obviously moving energy, but it was an escapism. It wasn't healing anything. To where you have that vibration that's so deep, it's like, I'm going to push this shit out, because you have no choice. This music is so deep and healing, like, you're not going to have a choice. Did you ever become like emotional during any of your sound baths?
Oh my goodness. Yes. Many times. Emotional, where tears just start coming. And then the first time I would be like, what's happening? What's going on? I'm like, no, just let it happen. Like, just be in the moment. Then after that, I learned if tears come, they come. No more embarrassment. Because I didn't even cry through probably up until I was like my late 20s. I really would not cry for any reason, because it was shameful, or you're weak. I would get beat if I cried. I'm going to give you something to cry about. I'm sure some people can relate to those phrases. I'll smack you in the middle of next week.
Yeah.
I was also, as I say, kunta kinted. Literally, like, they would rip off the belt and just up and down the back. So it just kind of helps push all that out. And I can play whenever you want. I can play some sounds and see how well that comes through. And
let's do that. That'd be amazing, because I just want to say to people that are watching, like, you have no idea what this sound can do and how it can move you until you really hear it. The person that was in the room, she wasn't even moving. She was just moving her hand, and it sounded like she was in every space in the entire room at a different time. It was very interesting. So I would be happy to have you play. So
sure, I'll do just a couple minutes here of, like, kind of typically how it would start and end, and then go. So, excuse me for, I'll be kind of shifting here, but you'll be able to see parts of me. So this is a little mini Tibetan sound ball I start off with.
Okay.
Ooh, sorry.
Beautiful.
A little snippet of each little, a couple of the instruments play.
What was the little one that you were holding?
This is a Koshi chime, and this one is water, stimulate water.
Wow.
It's like water movement. So and I use this kind of a thing. It's just very peaceful, coming
It
back.
is.
Yeah, it's my fave, one of my faves. So I just pick it up and play it randomly.
Beautiful. The sound that comes from that.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So that's one of your favorite. What's your number one, would you say?
Oof. My number one for me personally is not any of these. I love all these, but this is my number one, my ukulele.
Love it. Love it. Love it. You can
I
get
think
so
because if I'm not receiving, I think this is my favorite just because I can get creative, move it, but I can feel it and touch it, you know, feel it inside, outside at the same time. And it's a happy sound. But after that, my favorite, it varies from day to day, the buffalo drum and the gong. Like literally, but to just randomly come and pick up something quick, definitely the Koshi chimes.
I gotta do a sound bath now. I gotta find a place around here that does them, because this is just like, you know, when you get things and you get answers from things or little pieces of things exactly when you need them.
Yes.
And you showed up.
Thank you. Well, you showed up too. So
yes. Where are you? Can people find you anywhere? Is there any website or anything?
I am now located in Florida, New Smyrna Beach, Florida area, Central Florida. I've been here a month now. Came from SoCal. So just trying to meet people and, you know, meet people who are in the community and get out there and offer what I can. So yeah, if anyone's in the Central Florida area, about an hour east of Orlando, I'm on the beach side. So that's where I'm located.
Find you? Is there a website, social media, or anything that you'd want to put out there?
I'm on Instagram at AmberSounds.
Okay, perfect. That's amazing. We're literally like just at a minute left. So that's beautiful. We had some really great experiences, and I hope that you find your tribe, and I hope that people find you through this, because you're very special and you have a very unique story, and we're all on this healing journey together. So it's just great to have like-minded people. Next time in Florida, I'll have to reach out and see where you are. And
absolutely, I'll give you a sound back, and you know, and thank you very much. I'm very honored and humbled that you had me on.
You're so welcome. I'm happy to. I love people with unique talents and unique stories, and just anything that's going to help people to learn, because there's so many unique things that we need to learn that we're not exposed to. We're exposed to so much mainstream commercialized bullshit, and we really need to learn all the healing modalities that are out there. So I'm happy to.
And there's so many. There's a plethora of healing modalities that either are hidden from us or we just don't know about for whatever reason. That not everything is for everyone, but the best thing to do is just try it once or twice and see if it works for you, and if it doesn't, that's okay. But I'd almost guarantee you're gonna like a sound bath. So
so exciting, because again, like I told you, I did it a couple of times, and this is what I needed to push me back into it. So next time I go to a sound bath, I'm going to send you a message on Instagram and say, I just did a sound bath and I'm feeling.
Please do. I look forward to it. Okay, yes.
Great. Thank you so much. And I look forward to chatting very soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Have an amazing afternoon, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Krystal. I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Leah, you've been mommy's spot a little, bubbies. Two minutes ago, I didn't have pants on. I'm just going to do our bio after. Let me put on my timer. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Krystal Tini TV. Today we have Amber Douglas. She is an outspoken free spirit. I think that the eye line is way off.